What are your opinions on the velocity of money? The video you made seems right to me, but sometimes you talk about it differently. How do you actually view it? I think velocity is more consistent than people think it is because we can't measure money. And the way you get velocity is by taking nominal GDP and divided it by some measure of the money supply. That's how you get velocity. But if you can't measure the money supply, then it's like QuickBooks. Just to keep it family friendly, we'll say dog crap in, dog crap out. Same thing when you're measuring velocity. So if we have M2, let's say you're measuring it with M2. If we have M2 go parabolic, but M2 really isn't a good or accurate measurement of the money supply. And let's just say that we had money supply go down in aggregate total as M2 is going up. It's very possible when you consider how large the Eurodollar market is. Then velocity could be increasing. See, so you go back and I don't know the specific video you're referring to, but look when velocity was high in the 1990s. Go back to the story that Snyder told the other day. In fact, I've got it right up here on the tabs of my web browser. Upheaval at Salomon Brothers. Salomon is punished by the Treasury, which partly relents hours later. So this talks about, this was back in the early 90s, late 80s, when Buffett had to come in and basically not bail out, but from a publicity standpoint, bail out Salomon Brothers. And for a lot of us, we were too young to kind of be cognizant of what was happening financially at those times. I'm just skimming through the article here. But if you study what the story was all about and what Salomon Brothers was doing, which Snyder does with Emil Kalinowski in their podcast, Making Sense, which I suggest everyone listen to, you'll see that they were trying, they weren't trying, they were literally bidding on 100% of the treasuries at auction. They're trying to buy every single treasury that the government was issuing. And the officials could never really put two and two together. They couldn't figure out why they were doing it. Well, come to find out that maybe they were doing it because they wanted those treasuries to go into other markets and use as pristine collateral to make a significant spread in maybe the swap market or maybe the repo market. According to Snyder, he thinks that that's when the repo market really took off and started to be a driver of growth, let's say, for the global Eurodollar system. And you look at velocity was going up. Well, was velocity going up or was money supply going up in the shadows? If you look at what happened at Salomon, you kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together, and it would lead one to believe, because they're trying to buy literally every single treasury, they're using those treasuries to, or a group of entities globally were using those treasuries in a roundabout way, to increase dollar funding markets, i.e. Eurodollar markets, therefore increasing the quote unquote money supply in the shadows, which could not be measured. And if that was increasing, then velocity really wasn't going up. Now, was it? It was pretty much staying consistent. So that's a roundabout way of answering your question. And I'm not saying that velocity isn't going down. I'm just saying that there's no way to tell. And if I had to actually bet on it, I would say that velocity is going down less than we think it is. And it's gone up less or it went up less than we thought it did, maybe in the 1990s.